Hey dear students, hello, welcome back to LedX. My name is Ananya Kumar, your professor for the day. And in this particular video series, we will be focusing upon protection of women in cyberspace. Now, before moving further into the discussion related to this particular video series, let me just introduce myself to you all a little bit. As I told you, my name is Ananya Kumar. I have completed my LLB, my LLM, and currently I am also pursuing my PhD from the state of Delhi itself. And prior to this, I have been associated as an assistant professor with law colleges here in Delhi. And I also had a short stint as a practicing advocate in the courts of Delhi along with other advocate. And apart from this, I also consider myself as an avid researcher because I have presented my papers in various international, national conferences, seminars. I have a few publications in my name, so on and so forth. So, as I told you, that I am currently pursuing my PhD. The topic of my thesis revolves around this particular subject itself, that is protection of women in cyberspace. Now it has been about 7 to 10 years that I am into this legal field, and whenever I want to talk about this issue related to protection of women in the virtual world, I often get that this issue is very trivial and you should not waste your time addressing this issue because it is not going to take you anywhere. Reason being, the justified reasoning that I get from the other side is that this issue is really very trivial when compared to the other atrocities that the women in our country face. Starting from the offences of rape, domestic violence, acid attack, so on and so forth, the list is long. So, coming to this particular point, this falls down somewhere at almost the bottom line of the atrocities that are being faced by the women of our country. So my thought process is that this shouldn't be treated as one of the listings at the bottom line. Rather, this is the starting point of any wrong, of any offense that can happen to any woman. So there is a need of protection of this gender in the virtual space itself. And then when we move further, I have questions like cyberspace is a gender neutral place. Then why do you want to make it gender specific? Other questions are, we already have provisions in our various legislations. May it be the IT Act, may it be the Indian Penal Code, may it be the Criminal Amendment Act of 2013 or the Indecent Representation of Women's Act. So we already have proper legislations. So why do we need to focus on this topic altogether again? So there are various different questions that arise from this topic itself. And it is my humble attempt, I would say, to address these issues with you all and to discuss these issues with you all. So for the purpose of this video series, I have tried and divided the contents into different units, wherein in the first unit we will discuss about the whole concept of cyberspace. We will talk about the concept of freedom of speech in cyberspace, whether do we have a complete freedom of speech available with us or not, or if that freedom of speech is curtailed to some extent. Then, as I told you, we will also discuss that though cyberspace being a gender neutral place, why are we focusing upon protection of women in this particular area itself? Then I'll also discuss a few statistical data to throw light upon that this issue is actually not very trivial that one thinks of. And then we will be discussing about the legislations that are available. Then in the second unit, we will be talking about various kind of crimes that happen against women in cyberspace. may it be stalking, may it be voyeurism, may it be cyber defamation, may it be insulting the modesty of women, may it be sexual harassment in cyberspace, may it be cyber stalking, may it be deepfake videos, audios, may it be revenge porn, may it be hate speech, or may it be misogyny altogether in the cyberspace. So we will be talking about all of those in our second unit. Then moving on to the third unit, we will be discussing at length the legislations that are available. So we do have IT Act, we do have IPC, as I told you, we do have Criminal Amendment Act of 2013 and the Indecent Representation of Women's Act. So we will be discussing that what all sections are available or what all provisions are available to basically act as a tool to fight down this issue. Then we will be moving towards the judicial approach, how the judiciary of the country has dealt with this issue, how they have given judgments considering the trivialness of this issue. And then we will be obviously discussing about the jurisdictional and the procedural laws that are available as per the laws of our country. We do know that IT Act is there, we do know that IPC is there, but what after the prohibition? How are we actually going to fight this case? We will be talking about all of that. We will be discussing about how you can file a simple complaint in a police station. How do you do that? What do you have to write in that complaint? Where you can give that complaint to the police officer? And what happens if the police officer or anybody at the police station is not registering your FIR? So, do you have any recourse with that? We will be discussing that in our unit number 6. And then in the unit 7, we will be talking about the role of intermediaries. What is the role of intermediaries in this whole concept, in this whole problem? So we will be talking about who all are intermediaries, do they have any protection from the laws, or they are completely free from the laws. Do they have any liability towards the laws, or they are completely free of the laws? Since most of the intermediaries, the offices of these intermediaries, the headquarters of these intermediaries are not located in our country. And then finally, in our last unit, we are going to discuss what is the road ahead. Do we have any kind of protection available for women in the country? And what kind of changes can we ask for? So please stay tuned and please do watch this video series to spread awareness about this issue, which is treated as trivial, but trust me, it is not trivial at all. So thank you so much. I hope to see you all soon.